Georgia ranked number one once more. Dean Leggy, Ryan Curley. Ryan, we got a chance to talk to Kirby earlier tonight. He seemed relatively chilled out. He was not pleased with their practice on Tuesday.
No.
Well, Monday for sure. And Tuesday, he didn't seem overly impressed with it, although he said it was better than Monday. Um, I just I think that they didn't give him what he needs. These guys got to understand. I mean, just kind of to back Kirby, and I'm obviously not a coach, and I'm not, I don't watch the practices for obvious reasons. They don't let us in, but they've only got so many practices to get ready. I mean, you can't give away practices, and it sounds like those are my words, but it sounds like what happened on Monday. He was not pleased.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't pleased with today's practice either.
Right.
He said that both days were just not what they have been the last few weeks as far as what a Monday should be or what a Tuesday should be. He drills in those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday practices as being ultra important.
They are.
Thursday, Fridays when it chills out a little bit more, they're traveling, and so the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is where they get a lot of their work done. Um, he's not pleased with their practice. Maybe the team. I don't know. I that's what I asked him yesterday about keep motivated. We talked about that last night. Are they? You think they just might not be as motivated for this coming game? I mean, what do
Well,
you?
I'm sure that's what it is, and I get that. And you and I mean, like at Dog Post, we're doing different things for this game just because of the situation. And they're not playing a conference game. They're not. They're playing at home. There's a lot of different reasons why, and what we're doing is development for you and for all of us. But you can't take games off. You can't. If you're us, you can't take games off. I mean, we've got to get ready for the conference championship. We've got to get ready for the games after that. I mean, you can't take off time. And if these guys want to be great, you don't get. I mean, you only get so many chances to get George right. You only get so many chances to get Blaylock right. I mean,
You can't
so
take off a single practice
no,
if you want to win
no.
the national
Mm-mm.
championship. You can't take off a single play. You got
And
to be locked in.
it's concerning because that's not who these guys have been. And I think that if you're Georgia, you're not that much better than everybody else. I mean, you're not. You certainly could lose to Alabama, Ohio State. I mean, possibly Oregon. I mean, you can lose. We saw what happened with Cincinnati a year ago. Tonight, Kirby said, and he's right. He used the term luck. He said we were lucky to win that game. Well, they were. Now they fought through it and won. They deserved that win, but they were not the better team that night. You can't give away practices. I was on the field Saturday night. I can't remember when I don't know specifically when it was that he said this. I feel like it was the first half. He kept screaming at the defense, you can't, no free plays and no free practices either. And there's only so much time that you have to get things right, to get things dialed in. And this is the extent to which we should talk about a Monday practice. But it's
Yeah.
it's it's disappointing to hear that from him because he really does not sugarcoat things as far as that's concerned. It's not good enough, and you can't go backwards and get those days. That's the problem.
With him saying something like that, I have a feeling that Wednesday's not going to be as
Yeah,
bad. If he's going to drill
but
that into him. I'm sure he was in their grills tonight. I
But it
mean,
throws but it throws off the whole week. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, I remember getting back one night, man. We got back one night. We had lost a game on Saturday night, and we got back at like 12:05. And we all got into this little room where we typically watch film, and coach started he did not talk the whole way back. And he got us in that room and he used words I will not use right now and said, "It is Sunday. We can practice. I will practice y'all right now." And he didn't, thank God, because I think people would have died. But coaches have a right to be, the way they are about things sometimes. And you got to think about Kirby. There's a lot of dynamic with Kirby Smart. He is certainly well paid. He is certainly, all that. But he doesn't get time back with his kids, man. And y'all are wasting his time. That's just not going to be okay. And that's the thing to me. Now I've talked enough about it, but
we'll
I was
move on
disappointed
to
by that. I was
the.
disappointed by that.
It is disappointing when the opportunity that's in front of them. It's not like it's a
Exactly.
4-5, 4-6 team,
No.
or even a 6-2 team or something like that. This is a 10-0 clearly number one team in the country. Maybe it's not a super significant gap, but they're clear number one. They have a they have a foreseeable path to winning the whole thing,
Hmm.
which you haven't done in 41 years. And Kirby Smart more than anyone wants that ring.
Hmm.
So if he's disappointed, then obviously things weren't clicking the last 2 days.
Kirby Smart's won a national championship a few times. I mean, he'll be all right. I mean, I know he wants to do it for Georgia, but he needs to do it for himself. I mean, this is how this should go. You play on a team, but you need to do things for yourself. And the glory will come to the institution and to the players for the rest of their lives. But you really need to do what you're supposed to do for yourself so you can better yourself and yourself moving forward. And by doing it, not being selfish, but doing it for yourself. I mean, Devontae should go win the national championship for himself. Jordan, all these guys, Trayvon, Nakobi Dean. Nakobi Dean has moved up my Heisman ballot in a significant way this week. And
Okay.
I'm gonna go grab an old school ballot and let you talk about it for a second. What do you think
Uh,
about that?
about Nakobe Dean being a Heisman contender?
I mean, moving up my, list of things, man. I mean, the
Where
guy,
did he move up on your list?
I
Because
just think you watch him play and the guy is unbelievable, man. I mean,
he's awesome.
you cannot, you know,
Wow.
you cannot mess with that guy. He's a stunning player. I mean, I'm not saying he's number one for me. I don't know that he's not the best player in college football. It's my vote, so I can kind of do whatever I want. And I'm not going to reveal what I'm going to vote. But someone like that, I mean, the guy's the real deal. And
No,
that,
he's a star. He's
yeah,
fast. He has instincts. He can tackle in the open field. You know, he can jump a route. He can read a route. We saw that. He could take it to the house. He's going to be in the NFL next year. So if
he
he
needs to be.
decides if he decides not to come back, I don't know if he's a first round pick. I think he's worthy of one. In my opinion, he is.
Mechanical
Middle
inch. Oh, I
linebackers
think
don't
he
usually
is.
go that high.
They don't, but someone asked me tonight, would you rather have Roquan or Nakobe Dean? I said, oh, well, I'd rather have Roquan, but it's not. I don't think you're stupid if you pick, Nakobe Dean as your guy. I
Yeah, I
mean,
think that Roquan that 17 year was really special,
yes,
really special. He was a top 10 pick. Uh, he was really good. It's not that big of a gap though between the two of them.
yeah. I mean,
I think Nakobe Dean is on a more talented stacked defense, which
yes.
some of those tackles are being taken up by other superstars. So putting Nakobe Dean on the 17 defense as leader, I don't know. I mean, it could be different,
And
but that's all hypothetical.
that's why I asked Kirby what I did tonight about, when did you know for sure that this defense was going to be as good as it was? And he said he couldn't remember the spring, which I know what he's talking about sometimes. And when Muschamp came on and said, "Hey, these guys are really good," and then he referenced the Clemson game when they just totally controlled everything on that front. It turns out Clemson's offensive line is a real issue. I think Clemson's offensive line is going to get Dabo Swinney a lot more heartburn than he realizes. That's not a quick fix, but the number one thing that was missing at Georgia when Kirby got there were the big guys, and he has adjusted for that. Now, Sam Pittman, they were going to play the way they were going to play, um, and they didn't have the players to do that in 16. But from 17 on, they've had those players. Here's what Kirby said when I asked him tonight. He said, "I really don't know. I've never been overconfident. If anything, I've been the opposite and concerned," which is probably true. "I don't remember much about the spring. I felt like we were going to be a high-powered offense. Then George Pickens went down. Then and Burton didn't make it through the spring. So I was like, man, are we really getting tested?" He means defensively. "I don't remember the front dominating like this. Maybe they did. I just don't remember. I
Yeah,
realized
he
that."
said he didn't remember a few times.
Yeah, he says, when I first realized that it was the Clemson game, they were really good. Our coaches on staff, Will Muschamp included, said it was just a really good front. He thought it was going to be special, and he was right. He's been around a lot of really good ones and seen them, and it was just a combination of Jalen growing up, which is true. Uh, I asked about Devontae and Jordan Davis. He says those two coming back, Trayvon Walker, Nolan Smith, There's just a lot of good players up there. That front really has really helped us. Their confidence exudes itself to this team and carries over and probably helps the secondary. Those guys are not as confident as the front and linebackers. It's helped them. But that it was I mean, it took me two series of the Clemson game. I almost called them Simpson. The two series of the Clemson game when I realized Clemson can't block these guys, like period. And it was going to take a freak play for Clemson to score. I mean, you knew that when Clemson first got the ball. I was like, okay, they're going to do their side to side stuff. That's what they're going to do. They don't have ATN. They're not going to, And I think DJ Ugalele is pretty good. No, no, they wrecked those guys, and it was obvious from that moment, man, that these guys were really good. We didn't know how bad Clemson's offense was going to be, but Georgia's
Yeah, but
defense was
then look
just.
at some of these other games what Georgia's done. It's
I
not like
know
it didn't
it
carry
ain't just
over.
Clemson.
They
Yeah,
you
exactly.
shut out Arkansas. That's a big deal. You 62-0'd Vanderbilt. That matters. People got to stop acting like 6-2 nothing is nothing. So
I mean, that was a beating, man.
I think coming into this season, a lot of us, including myself, were like, well, not sure if the defense is going to be quite that special because we're so honed in on the fact that the secondary was inexperienced. But
Right.
even those guys are playing well. That we forgot how good this front seven was going to be and how stacked they are. I mean, there's probably double-digit NFL guys on that defense. I mean, do you not think so?
Well, Adam
No, I'm
Anders.
not necessarily. I'm not necessarily talking about this draft. It could be the
Correct,
draft
correct.
after. Add it together. There's at
So
least 10 guys I think will be
if you
good.
include Adam Anderson in there, you probably get there. I mean, Kendrick, uh, Davis, Wyatt, Walker, Tyndall, Smith, Dean,
Dean,
Lewis Cine, Trayvon.
Ringo, Jalen
Hold
Carter.
on now, hold on. Let me do it, and you go. Walker, uh, Ringo, Carter. Yeah, so probably 10. Yeah, I mean, we haven't really even seen the best of MJ Sherman yet. So we're just gonna.
Oh, that's someone that I look at, when I'm down on the field and I'm like, that guy is built like a freak.
Yeah, and it's
He,
gonna get
yeah,
there.
I mean, but that's what Georgia is now. You got to wait your turn, and that's a good thing for a program. If these kids are coming in, they're a year or two that they're maybe just getting a couple snaps. They're watching these guys ball out, and then they get their turn. They're ready for the moment. It's seamless. It's not like they're a freshman.
Jalen.
So
I mean,
MJ Cern,
MJ
Snell Mont,
Sherman was getting back from an injury. I mean, the guy. My suspicion is he will be able to set the edge very well. Now we'll see. He did in high school when I went to watch him play, but that's different than this. I mean, he looks totally like somebody like Nolan Smith. He looks the part for sure. MJ's just going to have to get out there and do it. These next 2 years are the money's on the table for him to really make a move. And I think that the injury, coming back, I watched the first game he had coming back from an ACL, and it wasn't all there. And then it took him time to get where he wanted to go at Georgia. I think he dealt with injuries then, but now you see him on kickoff return. I mean, I just MJ is a year behind Xavier Truss. And we saw Xavier Truss's first real breakout performance against Tennessee. The days of
he
impatient,
pancaked that dude. He pancaked that dude. Did you see
the
that clip? Do you remember
yeah,
that?
yeah, the days of impatience. Um, People are going to have to go through the process. There's going to be very few. Uh, there's going to be very few AD Mitchells. I mean, there's
Yeah, I
just
mean,
not going
think
to be a lot
about
of
think
guys like
about
that.
these
Or
running
Brock
backs, man.
Bowers. Or Brock Bowers.
Yeah, well, both of them have made a significant impact on this team.
Right.
So, but I mean, look at every year the running back room's stacked and the younger guys don't get to play as much, but they would start at a lot of schools.
Oh yeah,
Kenny McIntosh would start at most schools in the country. Kenny McIntosh is very good,
he is
and
good.
next year him and Kendall Milton are going to be a fun duo to watch.
Kenny. When I was watching rewatching the Tennessee game, you forget because of the power of Georgia, I guess. And James Cook combines power and James Cook could be really deadly at the end of this season, man. But with all you get from Zamir, which is steady, I mean, this guy is like Old Man River. He is there all the time. And it's 4 here and 6 here and 8 here and then 2 and then 5 and then Zamir just it doesn't ever stop. And then you have the ability to pop him with James. So Kenny doesn't get out there a lot. And then you watch Kenny when he plays,
He's a
and you're like,
baller, man.
"Geez, man, this guy." I'm going to see Ryan Curley with his jersey on Friday nights. No, you're not
No,
gonna. No jersey. No
no.
jersey. Hey man, why doesn't anybody ever dress up like us? Hey, I want to see. I want to see somebody. You know, get. I want to see somebody at a game, or on. Excuse me. I want to see somebody Friday night, and they're doing their Ryan Curley. They're like, "What's up, man?
Oh my
I'm
God.
here. I'm here, man. I got it on."
Oh my gosh. You want people to dress up like us?
No, I don't. Most people don't have the array of shorts that I do. They wouldn't. They wouldn't
Oh,
be
well,
caught.
you know what? Thursday I'm going to the Falcons game. I might have to wear my Matt Ryan
Oh,
jersey.
stop
So,
doing it to me, man. What are you doing to yourself? What are you doing to
so it's not
yourself?
a choice, man. At this
It's a
point,
lifestyle? Is that what you're
it's a
telling me?
lifestyle. Yeah,
It's not a choice, it's a lifestyle. What are you doing, man? Why are you
it's
crushing your
too
own
late.
dreams, man?
It's too late to go back. It's
Why are
too
you
late to go
crushing your
back
own dreams, man?
because I'm not a
Stop it.
bandwagon. I'm not a
Yeah,
bandwagon.
but you don't have to. Oh man, you mean I gotta watch that garbage Thursday night so I can make fun of y'all? Oh my gosh.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm probably won't respond. If it's gonna be negative, I'm not responding.
Well, you know it's gonna be negative. I mean, that's what I specialize in.
No, it'll be. I think it'll be an interesting game. You see
Yeah,
the page, Mac Jones. They look good on Sunday.
they looked really good. I don't know why you're geeked
So
up to go watch them. You're gonna
I'm
hurt. They're
excited.
gonna hurt your Falcons so bad, man.
We don't know that. We don't know that. I think it's an
We don't
even
know.
match.
We don't know that, but we feel comfortable with that. I mean,
You
when I
feel
say,
comfortable with that.
when we say,
I have
I s-
blind confidence.
well, you're talking about one of the best franchises in football, and one of the better franchises in the history of sport going up against the Falcons, who I will not insult because I'm choosing to be friendly. But they're a touchdown dog at home. There's worse in the world than that. They can win that game, but
So I get.
they're still in the wild card hunt, which is
So
crazy to
now you're
me.
definitely watching the game.
No, I mean it's Thursday night, so I watch the game. So just try to. You know what, man? Here's the thing with my weeks is that Thursday nights are about it, and we're not going to go into details. You know my situation a lot. We don't discuss these things publicly, but I mean they're 4-5. They can get to 5-5. The Panthers
In the
don't look
mix, man.
I mean,
We're in the high.
but I there's only so
Well, hey,
much.
Cam Newton can
Uh,
spark the Panthers up a little
see,
bit.
I could let's not get carried away, but um, there's only so much magic. The Falcons haven't done what they needed to do to really be great, and but it's a
Oh
Thursday
no,
night.
we suck. We
Yeah,
we suck.
oh, we're going we.
The
Okay,
roster is bad.
possessive.
The Falcons suck.
I don't care if you call it we. I wouldn't claim those guys.
The roster is not good. So four
Uh,
and five at this point, 4 and 5. I'm
they've
okay with that.
they've played
But
better. Hey,
Here's what I want. I don't want some 8-9 or 17 games. I don't want some 8-9 season. Let's win this thing
so
out or let's tank.
so
I don't want to be in the middle right now.
you're the Jim Rome caller thing. You either give me an A or an F. I need either. I need
Well, in the
either.
particular predicament the franchise is in over the next couple of years, just tank for a pick, man.
Well, they need a quarterback at some stage. As good as Matt Ryan is, the
I don't
age
think
is
I
the
want
age.
anyone from this class, man. Hey,
No,
you
I
want
don't
to talk
think
about
so
the
either.
rankings at all?
We
It's the same as
can. I
last
mean,
week.
it did not change. I mean, it's looking quite clear that if Alabama and Georgia win the next 4 games that they play in, that the winner of that game in Atlanta is probably going to be the one. The loser is probably going to be the 2 or the 3. That's what it is. Well, I say the loser will be. I mean, Alabama. You think
I think
Alabama gets?
Alabama would.
Do you think Alabama gets in with the
I
2? Kirk
think they
Herbstreit
would.
does not. I don't
I
think they
think
do
they would
either.
slip. I think that would be Cincinnati's opportunity to
I
get in
think
if
it
they're
is too.
undefeated. I think that there's. I
Or
think
or or Notre
Oregon's
Dame's, or Notre Dame's.
probably going to win out. They have a tough. They're not favored against Utah Saturday night.
Yeah, the
Did you
only
see that?
yeah, I did, and the tricky thing there for Alabama can still survive this, and Alabama can
Things
still
could
survive
happen in
this. Yeah,
two-loss Alabama, but that means they play Georgia 2 weeks in a row or 2 games in a row.
they will not stick them as the 4.
So you're gonna tell? So you think there's a scenario out there where Alabama is a two-loss number 3 in the country?
Well, in the scenario we just went
You know how many
over,
people would
and I mean, I
freak
know we
out?
lost all of our audience talking about the Falcons. So with
Yeah,
the
maybe so.
dozens of people remaining, um, I would have to do the math. But that Oregon this weekend, you've got 2 games that really matter. You've got the Oregon game, and you've got the Ohio State Michigan State game. And that can if Michigan State beats Ohio State, you got a real mess on your hands in the Big Ten. Okay, I mean, I don't know what's
Yeah.
left, but I mean, I guess Michigan State would advance, and that's fine. But you could have a real problem in the Pac-12 where reality doesn't matter, gravity sort of suspends at times, and if Oregon doesn't get out of there, I don't think you can really. I cannot say to you, as much respect as I have for Cincinnati, that they're better than Alabama. So it gets gonna get back to, is this most deserving, or is this the best 4 teams? If Alabama has 2 losses and the other teams have 2 losses, I cannot, with good conscience, sit here and say that they're not one of the best 4 teams. If they have 2 losses and the other guys don't, if Oregon does the job and they get the job done against Utah twice in the next 3 weeks, and by the way, Oregon State's not bad. Oregon State can still win that division if I'm not mistaken. They need some help, but um, if Oregon loses, if you get some whack bird situation in the Big Ten, no, it doesn't mean that Alabama's out, and it means Notre Dame is still in this thing. 2-loss Alabama is still in this thing. Cincinnati is still in this thing.
Wouldn't that be
I
something if
think. I mean,
Cincinnati and Notre Dame
well,
made
hold
it?
on,
That'd
hold
be
on. Well, everyone's head explode. Wake is not out of this because
no, they're not. They're
it's
not.
just so sort of stupid
Oklahoma
right now.
State's not out of it
No, they're
either.
not. They're not. So I still think we probably.
Oklahoma's technically not out of it, I guess.
I think that one's a harder pull
The the
because
committee doesn't
Notre,
respect
Notre Dame
Oklahoma.
Notre Dame's not going to lose. I mean, they got Stanford, which is not Samford. My jokes went way over some people's head this week. I mean, I joke about Stanford being Samford and vice versa a lot. I know I have kind of a low threshold for intelligence because I grew up in DeKalb County, but I don't know. I think that's kind of funny myself. I'm no Jeff Foxworthy, right, Jeff? Um,
Oh, guy,
my guy,
dog
I
post guy,
still have not sent that out. I got to. I was really appreciative of Jeff saying, "Hey,
big dog post fan.
he is a big dog post fan." Hey, look, we're gonna wrap it up now, but I am very curious to see this weekend with Oregon specifically, and then the Ohio State Michigan State, and also too, by the way, more than 5 million viewers, almost 6 million viewers for that Tennessee Georgia game in a blowout. Comments? That's impressive.
That is. That is. That's
5.781 million people.
what was that compared to the Kentucky or the Arkansas games?
It was lower than Kentucky. It was
The higher
bigger
than
than
Arkansas?
Arkansas because Arkansas was on cable. I mean, Penn State, Michigan drew 5.9 million. Those are 2 of the largest brands in TV. Okay, and Tennessee, Georgia almost beat that. Now that's on the strength of Georgia. Don't get me wrong, but you know,
And this one's not even televised this week.
no, you're going to have to purchase. You're going to have a subscription to
Which
ESPN Plus.
that surprised me a little bit for the number one team of the country that you make it that
No, no, no,
difficult to
no, no, no,
watch
no,
them.
no.
But
Listen, listen, listen. I can explain this. We're going too long. Look, y'all, this money isn't just coming from nowhere. You're paying for it. You pay for it with your subscription to ESPN. You're paying for it with these new things. And the streaming, every single ESPN, every single SEC team is going to play one game on this streaming every single year from here on out. You are going to be paying for this stuff. That's how these schools are getting that. You're paying for it either through your subscription to ESPN, ESPN2, etc., SEC Nation, or it's this. And this is another way for them to get $6. I don't hate it. I'm a business person and a capitalist, but it's what it is. Don't wonder where the money's coming from. It's coming from your pocket. That's what it is. You should be subscribing to Dog Post. Way better value. I'm just saying.
You got to take that deal while it's out there.
Yeah, yeah. But look, I think the numbers speak for themselves. When you talk with people on background in media companies, Georgia's done a great job of making their games matter. They've made them exciting, etc. Not as exciting as the Falcons and Patriots,
We'll see. We'll
but
see about
exciting
that.
nonetheless. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, they're the number one team still, status quo this week.
So far, let's
And
just see.
we'll
We'll
see.
see a
We'll see if there's a
little
shakeup this coming.
little JT. Maybe Stetson throws it 8 or 9 times. There's not going to be. I think
Yeah.
JT's going to throw it more than Stetson. I'll say that.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So
fair. I
we-
I might buy that.
we've talked too long. All right. Thanks everybody. We'll see you on the website.